Abuse never starts with screaming humiliation or obvious cruelty. If it looked that obvious from day one, most people would simply leave. But abusers do not break a person all at once. They do it slowly, methodically, and almost invisibly, like rust that starts as a tiny stain and eventually eats through the entire metal. Human psychology is not as strong as people like to pretend it is. Tragic little creatures with Wi-Fi and unresolved trauma. At first, everything feels normal. The person may seem caring, attentive, even perfect. They give you a sense of safety, closeness, and importance. Then the small things begin, things the brain does not immediately recognize as danger. You're too sensitive. You understood it wrong. I was just joking. You wouldn't manage without me. And that is where the destruction of self-esteem begins. Not because of one sentence, but because of constant repetition. An abuser makes you doubt your own emotions. If you feel hurt, they tell you that you are overreacting. If something pains you, they convince you the problem is on you. If you notice all my ferments, maybe something really is wrong with me. That is the most dangerous moment, because the person stops trusting themselves. Gradually, the abuser destroys confidence in everything. Your appearance, your intelligence, your decisions, your worth, or your right to feel what you feel. They may constantly point out your flaws. You've gained weight. You've achieved nothing. Look at other people. Who else would even want you? And the worst part is that after hearing it enough times, the brain begins accepting it as truth. The person no longer sees themselves clearly. They see themselves through the eyes of the abuser. Then emotional dependency appears. Self-esteem is damaged so deeply that the person begins to think, maybe nobody else will love me. Maybe I really am difficult. I can't survive without them. Abusers intentionally alternate pain with affection. After humiliation may come apologies, tenderness, gifts, or a few good days. And the brain clings to those moments. This creates a psychological trap. I stopped living in reality. I started living in hope that the good version of the abuser would come back. But the truth is, an abuser does not want a strong partner. They want control. A strong person sets boundaries. That is why self-esteem is destroyed slowly, until the victim no longer believes they deserve better. The scariest part is near the revidrosforing. A person may become long after afraid of new relays for every shipping, feel due for having needs, or tolerate disrespect as something normal. Sometimes, after years of abuse, a person cannot even remember who they were before it all started. But self-esteem can be rebuilt, slowly, through realizing that the problem was never your lack of worth. Abusers do not usually choose weak people. They often choose someone who imagines some like implementing to or precariat. Incredible species. Truly. Healthy relationships do not make you afraid of being yourself. They do not force you to stay silent. They do not make you constantly prove your value. A person who truly loves you does not destroy you just to keep you close.